it is.
Yes, it's a lovely morning. Finances. I'm so happy with where my life is at right now. And I'm even okay with how much money is in my bank account, which isn't a lot. I mean, quantitatively, it's not a lot right now. But I'm really kind of living in this space where I've really been chewing on the contrast more and more directing myself towards, well, what do I want? What do I want? And the other night, I got in touch with that I didn't really believe in the regular steady flow of money outside of a 9-to-5 job, and I'm self-employed. I believe in the abundance of the universe, and I see it in so many areas of my life. In this one particular area, I've decided, well, what do I want? I want to believe that. Is that desire to believe that the dollars can come to me regularly and steadily, is that belief enough?
Well, certainly.
To override
certainly.
The want, is the want enough to override that belief?
Well, now that's different. But wanting to believe it is really a step in the right direction. And wanting to believe it enough that you're working at thoughts that help you believe it helps you to little by little release the resistance and begin going with the flow of that. You said something very important. You said, I want abundance to flow to me outside of a 9-to-5 job, but I don't believe that it can. So let's just play with it. I want abundance to flow outside of anything that's structured, but I don't see how it can is upstream. But I want to see how it can is sort of letting go of the oars. So then you just keep talking in those terms. There are plenty of people who show that example. That's letting go of the oars. But most people I know are showing a different example. That's turning upstream. So you just play with it until you soften the belief, until your awareness is that it doesn't matter what the thought is. The thought isn't right or wrong. It's whether it dovetails with what you want that matters or not. So you begin to let go of the reality of something. Esther will say, but it's true, but that's right, but is evidence. And we say, you have to start letting go of the idea that I should think it because it's true and start getting hold of the idea, I will think it because it's my excuse to match who I am and what I'm wanting. When you look at something like this belief you have, so this belief is what's keeping you from letting abundance flow outside of a 9-to-5 job. Yeah. So now you look right at it and you say, belief, what is it that I'm thinking about you that I'm using as my excuse not to allow the money to flow? Well, I'm thinking that I've been thinking you for so long that I can't let go of you. And that doesn't make sense because I can think any thought I want. So you believe, or just a thought that I've been thinking, you don't hold any power in my experience. You're just a habit of thought that I'm in the process of changing right now. So it softens even as you think about it. One who's in alignment with who they are is more powerful than millions who are not. When you get yourself turned downstream so that you are in alignment with what you're asking for, and now you're only offering one signal, the power of that is so swift and sure. So contemplate that platform and then think about the great disparity in the amount of effort that you see happening on this planet. How hard many people are working and how much action that they're offering for very small remuneration comparatively, and how little some others are doing and how much incredible abundance is coming to them. And you have to step back from that, not in the old normal human fanfare of injustice, but step back from that in sort of awe as you are witnessing firsthand through your own deciphering of life that there is leverage in alignment, that there are people who have figured out, maybe they were born into a family where it was easy for them to pick it up, and maybe they learned it one step along the way. But the bottom line is, nobody is experiencing enormous abundance who doesn't understand in some way this power of the leverage of alignment. So now you're beginning to say things, logical things like, I believe more in the 9-to-5 return on time and money, but I know there's more to the story than I have been before thinking. I do acknowledge that there are a lot of people that are earning a lot of money, that if I divide the amount of money I make with the number of hours that I am putting, and I come up with this dollar per hour equivalent, There are not enough hours in the day for that guy to make that much money. In other words, what would his hourly rate be? It just doesn't add up. There's got to be something way more to the equation than effort and return, effort and return, effort and return. Effort and return brings mediocre. Alignment brings a return that is astronomical. So everything that I've ever thought about 9 to 5 and dollar per hour and effort, it all just goes out the window, because this is a whole different platform that I'm playing from now. Now I get it. And so now I'm going to do whatever I do, and I'm going to appreciate the money that's coming. But I am now seeing economy and alignment and allowing and receiving and resources in an entirely different light. Now I get it, that if this time-space reality had the wherewithal to cause me to put it in my vibrational escrow, this time-space reality has the ability to deliver the goods for me or anybody else. There's no competition. And so what comes to me doesn't have anything to do with what anybody else is doing. In other words, there's not an economy that's being divvied up and you've got to figure out how to carve your piece out of it. There is an economy that's in the process of being created that is responding to the vibrational platform that you all hold. It was not very many hundreds of years ago that you were trading beads and feathers and things with one another. And now look how your economy has expanded, and nobody's been trucking resources in from other places. It's expanding because of the thoughts that you are projecting, you see. So as you contemplate all of this and you realize that you are the creator of your own reality, and that the environment that you are living is what is causing the expansion of that which is there for you, and now you're reaching for the thoughts that feel good. Now you're leveraging yourself in a way that you will in a very short time not be even talking about what you could earn 9 to 5. Instead of saying, oh sure, I could go get a job and I could commit myself and I could endure the discord that I would feel, you wouldn't even be having those conversations, because your understanding of what that kind of thinking earns in comparison with this empowering thinking of when you come into alignment with vibrational escrow, you would not even be considering it. So when you talk about what you do know, I don't know how it's going to happen, but these things I do know. I do know that law of attraction abounds. I do know that I've been living life and I put stuff in vibrational escrow. I do know the difference between not feeling good and feeling good. I do know that I have the power to direct my thoughts. I do know that there are positive aspects everywhere I stand if I will look for them. I do know the difference between vibrational alignment and resistance. I do know that I am a worthy being. In other words, you keep wanting to use your manifestations as the evidence that you are worthy of receiving, but that's backwards. That's like saying, put me over there and then I'll have a good feeling response to being over there. You got to feel good before you get over there. And so just keep starting back over again. These things I do know. I do know that law of attraction abounds. I see evidence of it. I do know that I have guidance within me. I feel evidence of it. I do know that there are many things that I want, because I feel the discord that lets me know that there are things that I want. I do know that often I'm in alignment. I do know that, because you see, all that feeling of worthiness is closing the gap. You don't need to say, I do know that I'm worthy, but you do need to feel the equivalent of it. Do you know that when you're in a state of appreciation, the gap is closed? And when you're in a state of knowing your worthiness, the gap is closed? So does it matter if you feel appreciation rather than worthiness to close the gap? But when you feel unworthy, do you know it always widens the gap? It always puts you in the state of disallowing. And do you know that if you felt worthy, you'd have all of these things that you've been asking for? So the fact that you don't means you must not. So it doesn't matter. It just means you've got some things to work on.
I can do that.
You can indeed.